you've taken on the 7-minute challenge and you're asking yourself, great idea, I buy it, but how am I going to make this happen? There's already so much going on in my classroom. I'm going to suggest that one of the first things that needs to happen is actually a way of thinking about reading. What we need to do as teachers is to start looking at reading in a slightly broader way than we have been. Now, I'm not suggesting that reading is anything. You know, like if I'm listening to something on YouTube, that counts as reading. What I'm suggesting is that getting onto a website like ePals and reading what your buddy in another state or another town has written about a book that you've recommended is a form of reading. In fact, there's a recent study out that indicates that for middle school boys in particular, the kind of reading that they claim to do most and like the most is reading as part of social networks, as part of social media. What I'm suggesting is that having kids read a lot more magazine articles is part of the 7-minute challenge. So for example, one way I might increase the reading in my 4th or 5th grade classroom might be to have an article from a newspaper, which is at a level that most kids can read. So if you think of you know, the nation's newspaper, USA Today, that's very readable by a 4th or 5th grader. And we might have a common newspaper article that we read to start out the day and talk about some current events. That's an example of a way to increase reading. In fact, one of the incentives for the Common Core was the fact that in life, the college and career readiness part, in the careers and citizenship roles we have, and in universities, a lot of the readings that we do, or a lot of the reading that we do is of articles. I spend a fair amount of time on planes, and I see people doing a lot of reading of articles. Now, some of these might not seem profound, like what the latest Hollywood celebrities are doing, and I'm not suggesting that we bring in those kinds of readings, but we may expand our views to include many more magazine and newspaper articles. So that's one part of the reading. And I've also been suggesting that as students develop areas of expertise, they're going to be expanding the kinds of reading that they do on their own. And we can see that as kind of a benefit of the 7-minute challenge.